Have you ever felt that whisper in your soul calling you to something more, but all the things spinning around in your mind have kept you stuck? Well, what if I told you that choosing excellence could be both easier and more adventurous than you could ever imagine? I am Chelsea DeBruin-Colbert, your host of All Things Excellence. I'm a soul catalyst for excellence who leapt off that corporate cliff and left small town Iowa farm life in my 20s to follow my calling, helping women come home to themselves by anchoring into who they're designed to be. I create sacred containers where women rediscover their truth, design their dream life, and transform those whispers into action. Now you can find me running my business from the soccer sidelines as a coach's wife, hiking my favorite Arizona mountain, or back in Iowa with my family, or on an adventure chasing my next sunrise, hot cup of coffee and journal in hand. Through intimate conversations about the stories, the traumas, and the transformations behind choosing excellence, we're creating a collective healing journey together. I believe in diving deep into personality designs, experimenting boldly, and learning life's greatest lessons through our beautiful chaos. Every week, my guests and I are going to rip down the curtains so you can see behind the scenes of real transformation as we explore what excellence actually looks like. Not just the highlight reel, but that messy middle where the magic happens. Whether you're seeking inspiration to take that leap or already on your journey and craving connection, this is your invitation to join us. So grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready to discover just how close you are to the life your soul is calling you to create. This is All Things Excellence. Hello, All Things Excellence fam. Today we are welcoming back the Stacy Foust, who is the ultimate incredible human design guide. Today we are talking about something very specific called the primary health system. So you're going to want to listen in. Don't click next. You're going to think this is like, what is this weird thing she's talking about today? We're going to talk about why you need to eat the way you need to eat, where you need to work, how you need to work, how you need to goal set, and why we all goal set differently. And we're going to have a really good time comparing Kobe and I on how we are very different and how opposites attract, but then how they actually coexist together very well, accepting each other's differences. So we have known Stacy for a long time. We're all originally from Iowa, so we've known her a long time. But for the last 2.5 years, she has really coached us in our marriage, helping us see how we are so different, but how to complement each other. And a lot of it has been it's all been through human design with her, but a lot of it has been this primary health system. It's been a very big game changer in how we live the different pieces of our daily life. This is our daily life, right? When you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Your
Yeah.
daily life. Yeah.
Primary health system in human design is your daily life. So in case you're listening to the isolated episode, we're going to jump right in with, okay, what is human design in toddler language? You're explaining
Ah,
to, or
it's like, oh,
6-year-old.
it's the science of differentiation. But
I was like, I knew she's going to go, it's a science of differentiation. Okay. I am 6.
so you are sick. So it really helps you understand who you're born to be. It helps to bring you into alignment. So, like for instance, I'm a manifester and my go-to would be peace and anger. When I'm out of
Mm.
alignment, I'm like, I'm angry. And so it allows me to live with a lot more peace, a lot more
Mhm.
grace, a lot more joy. Yes.
And mine is I either feel successful or I feel frustrated. Correct?
Bitter.
Bitter. Oh, bitter. Right. Generators are frustrated, bitter.
Yeah.
And that, yes. There was something recently, her and I, we were both on this training about human design. And they said that when you're in that, if you're not feeling successful, you can get bitter about other people's success. And I can own that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's me being out of alignment in my design, correct?
Correct.
Correct. That's me being
Yeah.
out of alignment. So, how do you feel like you've been coaching with human design now for several years? You've been working with me for over 2.5. So, how do you feel like people understanding their human design has helped them?
Oh, in so many ways. Like, I think number one, when people understand their authority, how they best make decisions, we don't have to rely on other people anymore or our
Agree.
government or, you know,
Agree.
our parents. So
Agree.
Yeah.
The
Sovereignty.
committee. I think it's the committee.
Committee.
Like, so for me, it was, I would get this weird, I'm a splenic, right? My
Mhm.
authority. So you're talking about authority, how we make our best yes,
Yep.
which you guys can go to her website, myhumandesignhub.com. On the homepage of her website is an excellent free YouTube video about this exact thing, like how you make your best decisions. And on her website, you can get a free chart so you know what the heck we're even talking about. But mine is splenic, which means it just like hits me, this intuitive hit. And I've done this my whole life until human design, and now I'll catch myself. I can be walking down the hallway and have the most random knowing of like, this, I just need to do this. This is a cliff I've got to leap off of. And then my mom would always say to me as a kid, stop putting your life up for a committee vote, which interestingly enough, she's also a splenic projector.
Wow.
I know. I know. And she would always say that. Stop putting your life up for a committee vote. Why are you doing that? Well, I think that I would get these intuitive hits that are so insane because there's no sense connected to them that then I would check with, there's no sense, right?
There's no logic. You
No
can't.
logic. Like,
Right.
seriously, the amount of times that people have looked at me and went, seriously, Chelsea, like, where did you even, like, what? Where did you even get that? Like, and then they make you feel like, I don't know, you're right. Maybe I am insane. So then I would vet it to 1 to 5 people. What now I do know is I can look back and go, I would keep vetting it to people until I found the right person who agreed with what I wanted to do.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm curious to know though, Chelsea, how does intuition feel in your body? Because it's very different for everyone. That
Oh,
has,
where do I feel it?
where do you feel it?
Mm. I always go, mm. It's like right underneath my chest, but like in between that opening in between your ribs, like it like hits right there and it like settles and because I always like grab it and like
Yeah. Yeah.
I always feel it right there. I mean, it's something so simple as right now we're developing a new series for my podcast, and I had a name that I absolutely loved, but I also am a marketing brain. So, like a good marketing brain, I put it out to the world to 3 to 4 to 5 people that I value all you the most. You all hated it. And I was like, okay, because it still has to hit, right? Like just because I love it it makes sense. So it didn't make sense to anybody. Nobody loved it. And so now I've asked ChatGPT no less than 50 ideas, and I don't like any of them. And I have to, like with splenic, just because you get an intuitive hit, or like what you can't just go like, well, what does your intuition say always? Because sometimes it says nothing. It
Yes.
literally will say nothing. And it means like I said to Caroline, my assistant this morning, I said, okay, I I know that I need to stop deliberating this. I know I just need to table it. And I might be driving down the road or walking down the hallway or making dinner tonight,
Yep.
and it's going to come to me.
Yep. We can't force it. That's the rough thing about it.
Yeah.
So it comes when it comes, and it comes
Yeah.
very quietly.
What do you say for splenic and sacral authority people? Or
Right. So
sacral, the gut.
sometimes the gut doesn't give you an answer either. It just means it's
Hmm.
not the right time to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that, like, but a great thing about the splenic intuitive hit was I'm sitting on my patio and this just hit me like like bam. It actually like like ideas like
Yeah.
punched me like wham right in the center of the face. Like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. And then the details come like into here.
The clarity comes with it.
Yeah.
When it's splenic authority, the clarity comes with it.
Like I knew like this is what I'm doing. This is exactly what it's going to look like. And then the marketing piece of me is like, okay, now we need to brand this.
Right.
Yeah. And it does, we'll talk about it actually, because I think this is a great example for you guys to know. So we're developing is almost like it's like the Delilah radio show without like it's live, but like not that live because it is going to be pre-recorded and put out. We're going to allow people to submit clarity coaching questions on our website. And I'll be taking them and recording bi-weekly segments with these questions and answering them anonymously. Like no one will know your name. We'll know your name and your information. So we can always email you when your episode goes live, or if I need some clarifying questions to make it like a really good point for the show, and for you to get some great answers. But wouldn't you say everything about my human design says that's a really brilliant idea?
Yeah.
And when it came to me, I think a lot of people go, that's really stupid. You're giving yourself away for free, whatever. And I'm like, no. At what I know about my human design, I am a student of the world. I'm a crash burn learn. I'm a spread joy. Give. I like give and I get like the more I give and I just give from this place of like loving the world, the world gives me back a million times full, correct?
Correct.
And I've learned that from my human design.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more joy that you are having as a 3/6,
Hmm.
the more joy and excitement that you're having, the more you
Yep.
draw it to you.
Yeah. Well, and then
100%.
I've got that in my gene keys. I've got the joy junkie gates in my,
Yep.
it, and I've got,
Mission
there's a
trips.
million parts of it. There's so many parts of it, right? So you guys, I knew that that was a brilliant idea because of everything that we've done with human design. So yeah, so we're working on developing that. It's going to be so cool, but the name has not hit me yet, but it will
It will.
in the right time.
Yeah.
In the right time, I know that it will. So okay, so today we're talking about PHS, the primary health system. We talked about a little bit about this, but like if there's like one thing that you could say to people like please, 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 please entertain this. Like what would it be that the thing that you could say to people like this is why I need you to entertain at least this little part of human design.
Well, I think I'm going to say a couple of things, Chelsea. First of all, it's
Yeah.
really important for them to understand their basic human design. This is in addition to, and it makes your human design work better.
Hmm.
So, for instance, the left side of the variables, I'm sure you're going to show a chart here pretty soon, but the
Hmm.
left side of the variables are all about the body. And when our body is in alignment, yeah, you have a lot of writing on your charts.
You
I
guys,
love
this is my husband and I. If you're watching the YouTube, you can see the literal video of this, but like this is Kobe's and this is mine.
Yeah. So those little arrows around the head are the variables, and the left side of the head are the ones that pertain to the body. And when you're in alignment with your body, then everything just works. And then the other side is more about how we are in the world, how we move
Oh, in general.
in general.
All the numbers on the left side are about the body. Not if your arrows go left or if your arrows go right.
No, no, just the arrows on the left side are about the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So left arrows are about the body.
hmm
Right arrows are about what?
Like your view of the world,
You. Mm-hmm.
how you are in the world.
Okay. Okay. How you show up in the world. How you are in
Yep.
the world. Okay. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about. So if you pull your human design chart, if you go to myhumandesignhub.com, it's Stacy's website, you can click free HD profile. You can pull up your free profile. You just need to plug in your information, your time of birth. It is important that you get as absolutely positively close as you possibly can.
Especially for the variables.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Those change minute to minute.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
my brother said, no, I was 747, not 730. And I was like, oh, I need to go redo this because it really could change. It can be on your birth certificate. You can get your birth certificate. Or if you got one of those like really organized moms that had a baby book, then apparently you can go look at that too. Mine's just a weird time. So I knew mine like right on the money. I always wonder about Kobe's though, because his says 3 p.m. and I just,
Mine is 2 p.m.
it
on the
really
dot.
is dead on
hmm
the money.
Dead
Okay.
on money. Some of us has to be born at the 00.
I guess that's right. Y'all are special people. I was not. I was 1:14 a.m. My poor mother.
Right.
I know, 1:14 a.m. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna start with the top left corner.
Yep.
Mine goes to the left, but
Yes.
Kobe's goes to the right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, so you having your arrow face to the left, I
Yes,
think
the
the number
top
one.
left arrow. Yes.
hmm
Hmm.
Yeah, you're a little bit more structured. So
Yeah.
this one pertains to how we take in food and how we take in information.
Hmm.
And so left facing arrow, your brain is very active. And right facing arrow, the brain is a lot more passive. And so for taking in food, Miss Chelsea, um,
Is that why Kobe sleeps better than I do? I'm not even kidding.
I don't know if it has anything to do with that. Let's see.
We should start quizzing people because
Yeah.
he can actually lay down and fall asleep and I
Mm.
it's just very rare that my brain isn't problem solving all night, no matter what I do.
Yeah. And his brain is filled in too, because usually it
His
has a
is
lot.
open.
Oh, it is.
Hmm. Yep. That
Oh
top, so
gosh.
we were talking about the top triangle. The top triangle, Kobe's is not colored in, but mine is colored in.
But his ajna is filled in. That's the
Correct.
mind. So
Correct.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Your minds are going to be a little bit more active. That would be
Hmm.
something to really like pay attention to.
Yeah.
Their left facing, right facing arrow.
Passive or, yeah. Agreed.
Right.
Okay. So, and then with food, so my brain is more active, his is more passive.
Yes.
We're thinking potentially that's why he gets to lay down and actually fall asleep, and I don't,
Possibly. Yeah.
possibly.
But because you have an active brain, you
Hmm.
need food on a very regular basis, and he
Yes.
does not.
Yes.
We were talking earlier, like
Mhm.
even you were talking about how being with people, you have to have your brain engaged when you're around people. And so
Yeah.
you're snacking like
It's
all day
it's
long.
true. Like you're with me in person very consistently. And do you ever see me without a snack bag?
Never.
Do you ever see me not?
I'm like, she's like a grandma. She has so many snacks in her purse, right?
Yes. And it's wherever I go. And I like in marriage, I think this is really interesting. We were talking about earlier how I said I'm so lucky that I had an eating disorder for like from like age 19 to 26. I dated a guy who was very judgmental about anything around food. And to be like to the point, he had seen photos of my mom where she after she'd had my third brother gained a little bit of weight, and he was so concerned that I would at some point in my life like gain weight for a little bit, and apparently that was disturbing to him.
Wow.
And I know, so then he was like took that out on me, but he never explained the why behind it. Instead, it just was like really abusive and created a fun eating disorder instead. And so then the part of the recovering from that was then realizing my body like doesn't love giant meals. It actually loves this nonstop snacking. So, gratefully with Kobe, he doesn't he's like too busy judging his own self about what he is and isn't eating. So he doesn't care about me at all. But I do constantly think that people are like we'll sit at basketball games at the school and I'm sitting at the bench writing the scorebook. And I always think like these people watch me eat. Like I'm writing down every move of the basketball game, every move of the volleyball game. And I am eating as fast as I am writing for 6 hours straight. And I always think these people think like, how is this sis not 10,000 pounds? She must have a fluke metabolism, which I don't. I work very hard at it, but
Yeah.
I'm not eating Doritos. I'm eating
Right.
again.
Healthy snacks.
I'm eating cashew filled dates for gosh sakes. Like, but I am eating nonstop.
Yeah.
When
And you need to.
Yeah, but it's only when my brain is engaged. It's like I have to, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So for us with the right facing arrow, my brain can be engaged, and engaged and engaged, even for a longer period of time.
Hmm.
We go in between. And I'm not thinking about food at all,
I mean,
at all.
I get to the point where I can't even think.
Hmm.
My
Yes.
brain kind of goes sideways a little bit.
Yeah.
For
And the
real.
other interesting thing is when you come to discover which way your arrow goes and you start eating the way you're supposed to, your
Yep.
digestion gets better, your metabolism is better. I see so many people, especially women
Yep.
that have the left facing arrow that are like fasting,
I was
intermittent.
doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah. And intermittent fasting, and they're like, why can't I lose weight? Like, why am I struggling with my weight? Even worse than I was before I was intermittent fasting.
Hmm.
It's because you're just not designed to eat that way.
Because isn't so if your top left arrow goes left, intermittent fasting is kind
The
of the
worst
worst
thing
thing that you
you can do.
it is the worst thing you can do,
It is
right?
the worst thing you can do.
But for the arrows going right, so Kobe, great. Intermittent fasting, awesome. Chelsea, real bad,
Yeah. I
right?
think even just controlling food is real bad. We're to eat when we're hungry, and we're not to eat
Uh,
when we're not hungry. Yep. And
yeah.
we're,
Like I still think you feed your body and I feed my brain because I
yeah.
genuinely don't feel like my body's hungry. I feel like I can't think because I'm hungry. Like my brain is like, we're starving. You've been using us for like 2 hours straight and you haven't fed us. What are you doing?
Right.
And I'll walk in and I never eat until I'm full, but I like snack until I'm satisfied.
Yes.
I was
Yep.
explaining this to my sister-in-law last week. I'd read a stat a long time ago that said it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to even know that it's full,
Hmm.
a long time ago. And so I programmed myself to just eat really slow. But I will say, when I started eating like this, so when I went from like trying to do all the macro counting crap and then started just feeding my body healthy snacks. Every time it was hungry, I would get a little snack and go, am I satisfied? Am I satisfied? Nope, nope, I need a little bit more. I did lose a ton of inflammation.
Yeah.
I lost like 20 pounds. And for it to be very real, guys, my entire digestive system changed to the point where I think that I would like poop like probably 4 to 5 times a week, and now I do multiple times a day. And it's because my gut digestion has completely changed on its head. But I know it's because of how I'm feeding my body. I mean, and I'm doing health things, but
Right.
it's mostly this. It's like the way I'm feeding my body.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was really good what you said about you're feeding your mind, I'm feeding my body, because it's
Hmm.
my body that tells me when I'm hungry, not my mind.
And it's my mind.
Yep.
It
Yep.
it stops thinking. Like I can't think straight. I can't think, I can't drive, which is why I have snacks everywhere I go. But my body itself also isn't this is somewhere else in my human design. My body is designed to have like really good, clean, simple food.
Yes. You have a very, well, you're a one, I believe. You have a
And the
very
consecutive.
ancient digestive system.
Yeah, my
That,
digestive system is picky.
yes, it's picky. So,
It's so fancy. It just wants clean, good, healthy, clean food.
exactly.
No cheap junk food for this body, guys.
And
Uh,
actually, your husband's not far behind with his because he's in that second tier. And
mhm.
both of those tiers are very much ancient, like eating local, eating organic, eating all natural. Yeah,
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. We both
Processed
do.
foods,
Yeah.
processed foods don't work.
No. And I think people think we're weirdos or we're just over the top or but it really is. My sister-in-law, when she was here last week, she was saying how somebody that she knows is so weird, and I was like, well, what do they do that is so weird? And one of the things she said, she goes, they read labels of every single thing before they buy it and the things of everything they eat. And I looked at Kobe, and Kobe was like, Amber, Chelsea will literally gather 5 different things at the grocery store and sit down with them in the middle of the floor and read all the labels and start Googling them. And I'm like,
Yep.
for extended periods of time, sitting on the ground in the middle of the grocery store aisle. Absolutely, I will. Like if I'm looking for something new, which is rare because I mostly just make things.
Yeah. So much easier to cook with whole foods.
Yeah, it's like I cook it like, oh God, this is how we made it. This is how we're gonna cook. So, also, okay, so how we take in information is this top left arrow as well, right?
Right. So for you,
Uh-huh.
it's like this consistency in taking in information. You might
Hmm.
need to take it in shorter amounts of time, give
Yeah.
yourself breaks,
Hmm.
um, and probably more in a like closed area, sit still, really focus where the right facing arrow, we're probably more, I would say we're more audio learners. Like we can listen on the go. We can just kind of sit and listen and absorb,
For
um,
real?
for real.
Because Kobe takes all of his textbooks for college and translates them and it reads like while he's doing all of the equipment management and the laundry and stuff at work,
Mhm.
he's listening to his textbooks for school. I'm like, I can read about 6 pages of a book in absolute silence by myself at my kitchen table in the morning, and then that is it. Like I
Right.
can't listen to YouTubes. I can't like I can't like Audible. I have 60 titles of on Audible on my phone and I can't listen to any of them. I
Yeah.
just can't learn like that.
Yeah. It is a
Mhm.
little different for you guys, for
Yeah.
sure.
But it's a thing, right? Like some people can bring that in
Hmm.
audibly and process it while you're doing something else, and then some people can't.
Hmm. For
Correct.
sure.
My
Correct.
mom has that right arrow with y'all for sure. She
Yeah.
does. Okay.
It's almost like we can take in copious amounts of information in a
Yeah.
sitting.
I
Hmm.
mean, Kobe's a history major, and I'm like World War I and then
Hmm.
World War II, sir.
Yeah.
One happened, then two happened. When? I don't know. I mean, I thought the Cold War happened in the winter, and apparently it had nothing to do with that. So, like, I don't know. And then he just explains it, and then I really still can't absorb it, and then I forget all over again. But I know that it was more about a cold shoulder, not literal cold in the winter.
Right.
Right, that's all I know, and he can tell you everything about it. So there's that one.
Hmm.
Okay, so then last thing with this upper left arrow, is
Yeah.
this the one with routine? Is this the miracle morning one?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I love doing the exact identical same thing every single morning, which also
Yeah.
makes it hard to then create a new routine. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. We
So
need to be a
I'm
lot more fluid. Right. Facing hero.
right. So like Kobe can get a workout in at any point in the day.
Me too.
And you too, right? Like you can do your morning routine at any time.
Hmm.
Like
Yep. I have like a list of five non-negotiables, but when
yeah.
I do them is very different
So it's
from
like
day
you're
to day.
journaling, you're meditating, you're working out. That stuff can happen at any point in the day for you.
Yeah, it does work better for me to do those things in the morning, but not
Hmm.
in the same order. Like some
Yeah.
days I'll get up and go to the gym right away. Today I got up and did my quiet time and all of that first, and then I went to the gym. So
Hmm.
yeah, we don't
It depends
love
on the day.
we don't love that stiff routine. And we really can't even do it. Like
Mm.
I cannot stick to the same routine all the time.
I love it so much
Mhm.
that I have a really hard time when it has to change.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I do want to say something to all the right-facing arrows. Stop beating yourself up because you can't do the same routine every single day because it's just not how you're wired.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm. That was very freeing for Kobe. I remember we were on a road trip with my other brother and his wife and their kids, and we pulled up all of our charts last summer and we were talking through this. And Kobe goes, "Oh my gosh, is that why some mornings I wake up and I watch soccer and I do homework and then I work out? And some mornings I wake up and I work out right away and then I do this and da 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 da." Da." And he listed out all the different renditions of his morning. I said, "Yes." And for me, every single morning, I roll out of bed, I grab my 20-ounce Stanley, I start drinking the water, I make my hot lemon water, I drink the hot lemon water, I make my cup of coffee, I select my books for the morning, I set them out on the patio, I grab my coffee, I add my creamer, I check to make sure no one's dying on my phone. I grab my iPad, start the music, go out to my patio, do it until I'm done, come in, like, but
Yes.
I used to live the life where every morning I would, when I rolled out of bed, my workout clothes were out, and I immediately put on my running shoes, I put on my workout clothes, and I walked out the front door. And then I had a different routine. And so now I'm just trying to find a different workout routine, and it's really like I'm really struggling with it.
I bet. Yeah. Because it's got to feel good to you and it's got to be at the same time. And a
Uh-huh.
lot of places don't have the schedules that really
Uh-uh.
align for a left-facing arrow. Yeah. You'd have
No.
to do a little digging.
No, like all my friends keep going, "Why can't you just come to the Pilates class at 11 on Monday?" And I'm like, "Because we work out at 9 o'clock on Wednesday and Friday, and I cannot work out at 11." And they just don't get it.
Yep. Nope,
Like
I get that.
they just don't get it. And I'm like, I I'm already into my day. Like that's interrupting my flow.
Yeah.
No. And my days are kind of like that even.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not rigid like what I'm doing every 30 minutes, but I like this is what I do on Monday. This is what I do on Tuesday. Is that part of this arrow?
That's part of your alternating. Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So see guys, like this gives us so much peace. Like where Kobe and I, we are so opposite and we're so different on how we eat and when we eat and what we do and when we flow and how we flow and I think that in marriage it's so easy to go like why can't you just do it like this or why can't you just do it like that? Because we try and sync our lives, right? When we're married, it just makes the whole house flow better. Kobe wakes up at 4:10 and I wake up with the sun. So, which means in the winter I wake up at like 8, but in the summer I wake up at 4:30, but he wakes up at 4:10 every day.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. I know. Every day. And he except for on well, no, on the weekends he watches soccer, so he's up pretty early too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but he also goes to sleep way earlier than I do. Okay, so bottom left arrow. On the bottom left arrow, Kobe and I actually both go left.
Okay.
What do you do on the bottom left
I
arrow?
go right.
You go right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kobe and I live how and you live how on the bottom left arrow.
Okay. So for you, this is about environment.
Hmm.
And so for you, it's you get inspiration from being in your space. Like Usually one space is like your space. So your back patio, you go there every single day,
Yeah.
you have your quiet time, you get inspired because you're in your space.
Do you usually know if I'm sitting on my patio if I send you a new idea?
I never thought about that. Yeah, I will now. That's funny.
I mean, I feel if I'm frustrated at life that I should probably go sit on my patio, that it has all the answers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. And for me, my inspiration comes when I get in different places. So when I go get out in nature and go for a hike, if I take the dog for a walk, if I go to a new coffee shop, which reminds me, I have a new coffee shop we need to check out.
Ooh,
So you go to the
yeah.
same coffee shop every time, and I love to go to different ones because
Mhm.
I get inspiration in different places.
Okay, does that have something to do with this is where God's good, that we're not, Kobe and I are not opposite on this.
Mhm.
Um, we are both really, I don't know, we'll use OCD, we'll use whatever we want to use, whatever crazy term. But like we both are really kind of weirdo crazy about our environment being predictable.
I forgot what your environment, like there's a number
Well,
below our arrows. There's colors and tones. And so,
so he's a 1-2 and I'm a 2-2.
okay, I can't remember what that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we just like things predictable. Like every single either Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, we
mhm,
eat at In-N-Out. We have gotten the same drink at Starbucks for a decade, and we're
yes,
happy about it.
yes.
People were like, let's go try new foods. And we're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, he's closed. So the tone under that upper left arrow, he's
Mm,
closed and you're alternating. So
hmm.
eating the same foods over and over and over again is actually kind of good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just like it. We like familiar.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
So,
me, my body usually doesn't react that well to new things. And
yeah.
5 days being sick isn't that much fun.
Nope.
Okay. So that one is about discipline and environment.
Hmm.
You go to different places to get all inspired, and
Hmm.
we go to the familiar.
Right.
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 Okay. And I think it is also like even if I do love to go any place where there's a really good patio with a really beautiful view and it's very quiet and calm is very inspiring to me. So it
Hmm.
can be, a different patio, but it is a patio with a
So
hot
are
tub.
you shores? I can't remember.
We're Kobe and I we're both markets internal, which is
Good.
why, right? Isn't that why? So we're both so under environment. If you look on
Yeah.
your chart and you look under environment on the this part here, which if you look at your chart, you guys look on it, scroll down, somewhere it's going to say environment. Some might say kitchens or shores or whatever, mountains, whatever. Kobe and I both say markets, but it's internal markets. And this is why our pantry looks like a general store from 1918, correct?
Correct. Yes.
If you walk into our pantry, there are tons of jars, clear glass jars, and baskets, all containing the snacks that I have pulled out of boxes and bags. And every Sunday, I restock them. So yesterday, we even went to Costco. We picked up all of our favorite snacks that were empty. I got home and immediately I'm ripping. I thought this is hysterical. I should have videoed this. I'm ripping the bags open and I'm restocking there where they go like they belong. And then after that was all done, you watch Kobe walk in there with his Adidas snack bag that he brings to school where he works. He walks in there and he's like, like grabbing the different snacks that I had restocked in our little miniature pantry market for him to then bring to school. So he has his snacks for the week. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it makes us, it's a silly thing that makes us so happy, but it is in our design, right?
Yes, it's very much
Yeah.
so. And so where
Yeah.
you go, your happy places, think about this. It's in the middle of a coffee shop. Coffee shops are
Mhm.
where it's the market. It's where money is being exchanged and ideas are being exchanged, and this is where you get your inspiration.
Yeah.
And I gotta say one more thing. Like
Yeah.
everything changed for me when I got in my environment. My environment is kitchens dry, which is kitchens
Mm.
meaning you're like where the action is, where like you can it's being in the or in the middle or next to a city where there's lots of action happening. And the dry happens to be like dry climate. So I used to live in Iowa where it was humid, and
Really?
I did not have energy. I hardly ever had ideas there. When it got really humid in the summer, I literally shut down. But the minute I moved here, I could feel this huge weight lifted off of me. And I started to really get in alignment as a manifester. These creative ideas would come, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never had a creative idea living in Iowa, like
Yeah.
rarely.
Yeah.
And
Not
so,
like you get them here. You get like
not
constant
like I
surges.
get here.
Hmm.
Not at
No
all.
way.
A lot of my gifts came online when I moved here, like so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the difference then for us? There's markets and then there's markets internal. What is the difference of that? Because like yours is kitchens, but it's very specifically dry kitchens, and ours
Yeah.
is markets, but it's internal markets.
Yes. So this is one of those questions you're going to ask me, and I have to go look, but um,
Because
in
I knew, because it's like we don't love, I know something about, like they always say markets, people with markets, they need to live in like a downtown of a city where it's like hubbub, bubub. And I'm like, that is not us.
my daughter is external, and she loved living in downtown Des Moines where all the action was.
So that's external markets,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like I want to have my dog and I want to live in my condo downtown and I want to walk to the coffee shops and
Right.
the thing. And Kobe and I are like,
Yeah.
gosh, no, we're
Yeah.
allergic to that actually, because we're internal. And
Exactly.
we're like, put us in the burb of the burb of the burb of the burb of the burb, where we
Right.
can't even really ride our bike to that
Right.
coffee shop you're talking about because we're so far out.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's is that more of like our internal environment we set up
hmm
like a little.
you still love to go to the coffee shop. You still love
Yeah.
to be in those environments, but
Yeah.
not necessarily live there.
I mean, I guess look at Kobe's job, y'all. He is the athletics manager. So he manages a multi-gajillion dollar equipment room for an up and coming 6A, a brand new up and coming 6A school. And when you walk into, we'll call it his office, but it is a giant warehouse looking room. And there are 8 rows of like I think 6 cages. There are 8 rows, and each row has of these cages. They're 2 level cages, and they move around. You can pop them in and out. And when he got the room as a brand new room, he got to unpack the whole thing. He stocked all the cages. He took my laminator. He printed out signs like, this is the girls' soccer cage. This is the boys' wrestling cage. This is the girls' badminton cage. So we as boosters love it because we're like, okay, this is the boys' soccer cage. This is our cage. It stores all of the uniforms for that, all of the balls, all of the supplies, but also all of our booster stuff can go in there. So when you walk into his room, it looks like a wildly organized warehouse market that you could just walk in and go, oh, I need to go into the 8th grade flag football for boys cage. And inside of here, I need to get these things out.
Yeah, you're the organizers for sure. That makes it
We-
look like the 1918 store. Yes.
Yes. Like maybe the home edit people that organize all the people's homes might have this.
Yeah. I'm thinking now. Yes, probably.
Right? So he does that at work, and then I do that at home with like
The
my,
label maker. You're the ones with the label makers. Yes.
why wouldn't you label it? Why wouldn't you label it? Our garage, we have it scheduled during spring break that we are unpacking our entire garage, purging and reorganizing, and then repacking it. Not that it's not already perfectly organized in Costco containers and labeled, it is, but we're
Yes.
just going to redo it just to
Yeah.
check in.
Yeah. That's so funny, Chelsea.
We're crazy together.
You see that for sure.
And it makes us so happy, which is why we love our pantry and everything perfectly organized. And this is all part of that. It's part of the environment.
Mhm.
It's part of the fact that our bottom left arrow goes left.
Yep. And it's
So it's
all
all,
about inspiration. Think about that. So you're
oh,
inspired by that. You're
yeah.
inspired to be
Yeah.
in your place. You're inspired to have things organized the way you like it. hmm
This morning, for a solid 30 minutes, I hunted for a specific pair of pants. And then I opened up a bottom drawer and I found all of these pants. And I called Kobe and I said, "Did you like do my laundry or something when I was gone and put 6 pairs of my favorite black Fabletics leggings in this random bottom drawer?" And he goes, "Is that not where they go anymore?" And I said, "You haven't done the laundry in 2 years, sir. They don't go in there. They hang in my closet on pants hangers next to the sweatshirts, next to the Nike tops. Like it is a department store that I'm walking in and I'm seeing it all in a row. I've been wondering, like, you must have done it when I went to Texas because I've been looking for these, you know." And he's like, "Yep, yep,
Yep.
that's when I did it." I was like, "Cool, cool, 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 cool." Yeah. So it's like you walk into my closet and even it's kind of set up like its own little boutique.
Isn't it crazy that our quirkiness comes from these variables?
But that's where this is from. And I think that we can be so hard on our spouse. Like, why isn't my spouse like this? Oh my gosh, I just realized this. I got Kobe's closet is he does color and then length. Like it's organized by color, and then within the color, it's organized by length of his shirts.
Kondo has to have internal markets like you guys. Yeah.
Who?
Marie Kondo.
Oh, Marie Kondo. Yeah, yeah. But like, if he didn't have that, it would, or if I didn't have that, like we could make each other crazy if we didn't understand why the other person didn't organize things like that, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Hmm. You guys, this is so helpful in marriage. Like, I love these examples because it's where we're so crazy, and y'all are listening to this going like, y'all are freaking weirdos. And it's like it's not like you saying, some people say like, "Oh, I don't have time to do all my laundry and to keep myself organized like that." And we can't function if it's
Right.
not. I mean, I am like coming out of my skin if that
Right.
patio, if that pantry and that closet are in a disarray, I am out of my skin. You
Mm-hmm.
feel, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not, I don't have the time. It's, I know I'm out of my skin.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay. So top right arrow. Let's move on to the top right arrow, which focus, awareness, motivation. Top
Yep.
right arrow.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah. So left is
I'm left, Aaron's right.
left is strategic and right again is going to be more like passive. So,
Mm.
I love this one because those who have an arrow facing to the left can only do one thing at a time.
I
Well,
hate it about
I
myself.
know.
It is the most frustrating thing about me to myself.
Yes. I get a little frustrated with this one too because people who have it facing to the right can multitask really
Yeah.
well. They can
Yeah.
listen to more than one conversation. Never have I ever been able to listen to one more than one conversation at a time. And if there's too
Mhm.
many people talking around me, I'm like, I don't even know where to focus right now. Drives me crazy.
It's
Yes.
when they put the music too loud at Starbucks that we're at. I'm like, can somebody turn it down right now?
For sure. I cannot have music on when I'm like doing anything else. You sounded like you
No.
could, but no.
What?
Did you have your do you have your music on when you're like having your quiet time in the morning?
If I do, it is like reflection music. It's more like it's like
Background.
yeah, it's background like spa music. Like
Yeah.
it because it like I think energetically it puts me in the zone,
Yeah.
especially if one of my neighbors is being cool that day and they've got their dog out, or I can hear the construction traffic because the air is weird that day.
Yeah.
So then I put that on and it kind of drowns out. But no, I can't. I cannot have music with words on and focus.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And this
No.
is what I'm a little nervous about because my husband's retiring in 2 years. And I'm like, I don't know if I can work with noise on in the house. Like I never have anything on during the
Mm-mm.
day at all.
Terry, you're gonna have to build her a she shed.
He's going to build me doors on my office. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
but solid doors? Is it gonna have to be solid doors?
I really want glass doors. Yeah. I'm going to make
Yeah.
sure he goes to his man room when he's watching TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the most unnerving one. I didn't really, I always thought like, oh, I can do that multitask, I can this, I can that, whatever. And where I understood this the greatest was these high school basketball games. When you do the book, you're literally, if somebody throws a shot, if somebody does anything, you're writing everything down. Like you are not ever not writing something down. There's the entire basketball game. Well, the first year I just watched Kobe do it and I would sit next to him and I would be chirp, chirp, chirping in one ear and the announcer Brian is chirp, chirp, chirping in the other ear and the game is going on. It's a basketball game, right? So it's nonstop scoring and things and calls and whistles and everything going on. And he would be he's watching the game, he's writing everything then down that's happening. He's answering me, he's answering Brian, the occasional kid that comes their way. He's answering that. And at the same time, he'd be reaching up and like hitting different things on the laptop, making different things pop up on the screen on the screen on the front of the scoreboard table. So he made this job look so easy, y'all. He made it look so easy for a whole year. And then I thought, I'm gonna learn how to do this. So he taught me. We watched a video at home together. He taught me how to do it. Mm. The the first game, I was like, shut up. Everybody shut up right now. You stop talking. You stop talking. All of you stop playing. What just happened? You blew your whistle. Who did you blow it at? Why did you blow it? And what am I writing down? I had like a meltdown. And so we realized the only way
While you're eating snacks.
while I'm eating snacks and I'm just trying to feed my brain because I'm
Yes.
starving. I'm eating snacks the whole time. So the girls' girls' basketball is a little bit slower. Come on, let's all be real honest with ourselves. That one I'm okay. I can do that one by myself. But the boys, I always would have one of the kids or an athletic trainer sit next to me and they're telling me all the calls and I'm writing everything down. And everybody just knows, like, for the love of God, don't talk to Chelsea.
Right.
Just don't talk to her. Like, she can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
It would be the most, like, I would put my head down for those 6 hours of those 3 games back to back and I wouldn't breathe. I breathe as I'm eating my snacks.
Yeah.
But
We
I
do
can't.
really well to focus. But the great thing about the left facing arrow is we do not get distracted. When we're going for something, we can
Oh,
easily put the blinders on and shut it down.
yeah,
And the people who have
absolutely.
a right facing arrow, they're like squirrel, like, oh, I could go.
Oh,
And
no.
they have a hard time like shutting goals down. So
Really? Oh, we're dogs with a bone.
tenacity is my middle name. Yeah. So we can bite down
Left
and
arrow.
breathe.
So for your top right arrow, if it goes left, tenacity, you like put your head down and you go after it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
can like have razor focus where I'd be working in my office and a kid would come in screaming and bloody and I wouldn't even know they were there because I'm so
I'm
focused
so focused.
on completing a task or completing
Yes.
whatever. Yes.
Yes. And it's not, so I think people might go like, "Oh, you're oblivious, you're not paying attention." My
Mhm.
mom would accuse me all the time of being like, "You don't care about anybody but yourself. You're just like so into
Mhm.
your own self." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just get so, when I've decided I'm doing something, I'm so locked in. The
Mhm.
entire world could go to hell in a handbasket and I wouldn't know.
Mhm.
Not because I'm not considerate. I just like,
So think
like
about
I'm locked
Yeah,
in.
think about certain careers. So you would not want your brain surgeon to be multitasking.
Yeah, right. I want him to lock down. Even if the power
Yeah.
goes out, I'm like, somebody start a generator and he keeps going.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. That's
Like,
so true.
but there's other careers. I think about this with my hairstylist. Like, there is no
Mm,
way you could be a hairstylist with like not being able to multitask or
yeah.
talk and cut hair at the same time, or any
Like,
of those jobs where you're talking and doing something at the same time.
yeah. If
Yeah,
your top right arrow goes left, you would struggle as a hairstylist.
you would struggle.
You would
Yeah.
struggle. If it goes right,
hmm
bomb diggity at it.
Yeah. Or you
This
would
is
just have clients that didn't want to talk. That'd be fine.
That'd be fine. That'd be
Yeah.
fine. Oh, same with like massage therapists, things like that. So
Yeah.
this is also um the one where like if your top right arrow goes left, right, you have to clear the room in order to focus. Like just you cannot have distraction around you.
Yeah.
Which frequently, so I think people think I'm like some weird like hoarder cluttery person because if stuff starts getting put into my office too much and I just can't get to it, I will walk into my office in the morning and I will take everything in sight. Like other than the stuff on the shelves, I will take everything in sight in this office. I will toss it in boxes
Me too.
and I will shove it in the hallway out of
Yep.
my sight because I'm like, and I'll wipe off all the boards. I'm like, clear the room
Yep.
so I can breathe and focus.
Yes.
You
For
feel
sure.
that?
For sure.
That's in that arrow.
Yeah. I
Okay.
cannot have a lot of clutter at all to
No.
focus.
In my focus area. In my focus area. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. like whatever. Which is why if it gets too crazy in my office, I'll move to the kitchen table
Yeah.
because it's wide and open. Um,
Yeah, but your inspiration may not come at the kitchen table because your inspiration comes
mm,
in one place, right? I have
yeah,
about 7 different places in my house that I like to
you
work because if
do.
I'm uninspired, I'll just get up and move to a
Which
new
arrow is that? Which arrow is
that,
that? Is like you go to different, there's one of the arrows where you kind of
that,
like hop around to
that
get
bottom
inspired.
left.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
bottom left arrow, if
Inspired.
your bottom left arrow goes right,
Mine does.
you hop around to, you have like 7 different areas in your house to
Yes.
like get inspired, right? Kobe and I both go left, which is why he has an office and I have an office,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when people are like, oh, I run this business and I don't have an office and I like sometimes work from the kitchen table and there's a desk in the corner of my living room. I'm like, and you're successful. This is fascinating. Really?
Yeah.
It's that,
My
right?
husband goes left, and we built him a man room to like move all his stuff in
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
he's not inspired there. He's inspired in the middle of the house. He's actually shores, so he likes to be where he can see outside. And the big sliders are there, and he can see
Mm.
outside and he can see the pool, and he's more inspired to work there. So he
Yeah.
works in the middle of the house.
So my office, and I bet this is part of my market's internal,
Hmm.
we found that if my office is not at the front of the house where I can see the world doing their thing, I
Yeah.
have to then go to Starbucks every day to see the world doing their thing.
Yes.
I don't want them to bother me. You know, like I have a neighbor, she'll be walking by with her dog and she wants to like stop and talk to me. She's like, "Oh, I see you in your office. I think about stopping." I'm like, "Don't you dare ever do that. You can see me and I will not answer that door. Like, let's not do that." But,
Yeah.
right, it is, yeah. Yeah. That's so crazy. Anything else you want to add about the top right arrow?
I just think it's so great that we're all so different. And in understanding our differences, we can learn to like understand each other. So that's the
Yeah.
fun part. Yeah.
Okay, now for my favorite arrow. This is the last arrow. Obviously, there's only 4 of them. This is my favorite arrow. And I think they're all really important. Obviously, you need to know how you're eating, you need to know where you're working, you need to know how you're focusing, you need to know the environment you're motivated by.
Mhm.
But the bottom right arrow is about, I say this is like your goal setting arrow.
It
And
is.
I go right. This is the only arrow. All my arrows go left to the
Yep.
more right. Isn't that your more like logic based side?
Yep.
This is my
Left brain,
one. Yeah, more left brain.
right
I got
brain.
I got 3 left brains,
Yep.
and Kobe has 2 left brains and 2 right brains. This is my one right brain, the more
Yeah.
woo-wooey creative arrow, and
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk about your bottom right arrow, which
Yes.
is all about how you goal set.
Exactly.
And Kobe
So,
and I are opposite.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. So are
Yeah.
Jerry and
This
I.
is
Yeah.
He's left and I'm right.
Yeah, my husband's left and I'm right. And so for those people who are left,
Mhm.
it's almost that you need to know, like if you're setting a goal, you need to know what you're going to be doing when you reach that goal.
Mhm. Like, what do you
And
mean by
for
that?
those
What do you mean know what you're doing?
so
Like for
so
Kobe, what would it be? Like I don't know.
he would need to know what his tasks are going to be, what his expectations are going to be, like what he's going to be doing on a daily
Oh.
basis. Um, yeah, what he's going to be doing for us. Doesn't matter what we're going to be doing because we're way more woo-woo than that. It's
Mm-mm.
more about how it will make us feel.
So his is about what am I doing to get to this goal, and ours is about how it's going to feel when we get to the goal.
No, but both have to do with when I reach this goal, what are the expectations? What am I going to be doing? That's the left side. We don't care what the expectations are. We just want to know how we're going to feel.
So that is part when you look at for us having kids, where he gets very overwhelmed is
What are the
when the kids would arrive, like what are all the responsibilities I'm going to have when they get here?
Yeah, what's going to change? What do you expect from me? What's my new job going to be? Yeah, what am I going to be doing? What's on my to-do list? It's way more specific.
So to help this person not self-sabotage, one should probably go over this with them.
Yes, they need a plan. Yeah. They need a plan on how to get there.
Yeah.
They work better with specific goals,
Yeah.
like
Like
more.
we had people text us Saturday afternoon and they were like, "Hey, we're in town. Like, what are you guys doing? We're here for like the next 5 days." And we were like, "You should have booked us 7 weeks ago. Are you kidding me right now?"
Right.
But it's a little bit of this, Kobe going, "Whoa, that is not like I'm not prepared. Like my week has not been prepared to go spend 3 hours
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
people that I see once every few years."
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In that, like, like, oh, that was not the expectation.
Right. Expectations are very important. Yeah.
Okay.
A plan. They need a plan. They need to know the plan.
What to do, how to get, so I always say like the left arrow, if your bottom right arrow goes left,
Hmm.
you are very mathematical in your goal planning and setting approach, correct? Very mathematical.
Yep. Yep. You're more methodical. You're more consistent. You
Yeah.
need a strategy. You need to know step by step by step. It's
Yeah.
great for these people to plan out their
Uh,
days, their weeks, their months. I never
yeah.
could understand how
Yeah.
somebody would plan out a quarter at a time. Like I can barely plan out my day.
Yeah. I'm just like, I just don't know how I'm going to be feeling 3 months from now, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
I might have
And
completely changed my whole life.
right. And for us to have a plan, I used to try and plan.
Hmm.
So when I would plan, I would get out on I would be out in the weeds. Like, how did I get here? This is not even where I want to be right now
Yeah.
because I did this silly plan. We need
Because
to be
you're
a lot
right.
fluid.
Arrow.
Yes, we need to be
Yeah.
a lot more fluid. We
Yeah.
need to be able to like change on a dime.
Hmm. So the
And
left, the bottom right arrow, if it goes left, you're more mathematical. If the bottom right arrow goes right, you're more of like magical in belief.
magic.
It's all about
Exactly.
like 100% belief, 100% magic, like trusting and believing that you know where you're going and you're going to get there.
Mhm.
Hold tight the vision, hold loose the plan, which, so you guys, this, what happened with this arrow? Before I really understood it very well. Because we'd only been coaching for like 6 months, so we were in a different part. And after this all fell apart, then we had to talk about this. So basically, I had found this house and I was like, yep, this is the house. Love it. We're getting it, moving in it. It's going to be awesome. Found it in December. In January, I sit down and I plan out where all the income is coming from for the year. And I give Kobe the most detailed plan ever that was very important to him of like, what's my part? What's your part? How does this actually add up? And then when we get the house, then what does that look like? Which makes so much sense. I didn't even understand that after the goal is executed, what is the ongoing expectation of the executed goal? But now that you say that, I'm like, oh, I see that with him. He wanted to know. I was like, you don't even know where we get our electricity now. Like, what does any of this matter to you? Like, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. It was the craziest thing. But what happened was I got so specific because I thought I should as a business owner and a human in America. I got so specific where all the different arenas and all the different clients that this income was coming from. Then when I had one client, I wouldn't say belly up. I would say a client who was supposed to be a substantial piece of my income for the whole year all of a sudden couldn't pay her bills and then ghosted me completely. I lost it. I like downspouted at life. Remember, like I was like, I don't know what I'm even doing anymore. Like I didn't know what to do as a human in my day-to-day life because my whole existence and everything I was excited about was this house. And now, like an eighth of how this house was going to come together this year just went away in a moment.
That has so much to do with your motivation. This is also the
Your
like
motivation. Oh, mine is innocence motivation, and Kobe's is fear motivation, which is
yeah.
also on your chart. If you guys look up, go to your myhumandesignhub.com, go there, look for the one that says motivation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-mm.
innocence cannot have a plan.
Mm-mm.
Innocence can
Mm-mm.
innocence wants to know more about how you feel. And this is what's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting with coaching business people because in business we are taught to have specific goals and
Yeah.
like reach out goals and money goals and all of that. But that literally shuts a right facing arrow down. A non-specific manifester, it'll shut them down.
So what does that look like? Like, would it be okay if I said, this year with my podcast, I want to have 20,000 downloads? Like that would be okay, but like then how I get there, I need to not, right? innocence motivation, and a bottom right arrow that goes right says throw the number 20,000 up on your bill on your whiteboard, and as long
Hmm.
as it feels good, keep it, but don't get crazy structured.
Yeah, do not get crazy structured around how you're going to get there, how it's going to look.
Hmm.
Um, it's more about how it will feel. And even the
Yeah,
20,000 could be could shut you down if it's not going in the right direction. But what if something
yeah,
better happened? What
yeah.
if
Because you said I could keep things like that as long as they feel good.
as long as they feel good, but if
And
they
the
start
moment they
shutting you
don't
down,
feel good, let it go.
yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So
So how
what
does
do
that work for a left-facing arrow? Like those are your super detailed
Mhm.
Excel
Mhm.
spreadsheet
Yep. And
tracking.
they need those numbers to hit. They need things to be very specific
Yeah.
to hit.
Because
Yes.
I do think it's hard. I think as a business owner, it's hard to find like a really good in between where I need to be a responsible business owner who knows her numbers, but then I also need to live in like the belief and the magic that I know I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to go after this, and that like God kind of intervenes in ways I can't even imagine. Like, how do you find that middle ground?
I really have a hard time. I'll be honest. I was at a event not too long ago, and I could tell all the speakers were specific manifestors because they
Mm.
were talking about numbers and taking responsibility to know things, and
Yeah.
that shuts me down.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going for. I know what it's
Hmm.
going to look like. I have vision.
Hmm.
And I felt like I started to sense I was going in this direction of, well, maybe I'm not a business owner. And like, Stacy, stop. Like, just stop. You have been
Hmm.
so successful
Yeah.
in a business that you ran for 40 years.
Yeah.
This is no different than that. And I
Yeah.
didn't really shoot for specific numbers. I really shot for how it's going to feel when I reach this position or that position. It wasn't about
Really?
numbers. I didn't track numbers.
You did not. Stop it. You really didn't track numbers?
Mm-mm. Nope. And I didn't look at what anybody else was doing ever, 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 ever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm finding that very interesting right now because I think that in, my previous lifetime where my entire world revolved around like my direct sales career,
Hmm.
I think if I got really honest with myself, like when I was hanging around, like I was chasing the feels, right? It's like I want to be number one in this, or I want to be number one in that, or I want to earn this, or I want to earn that. And I went after it, but I never really honestly had a goal or anything. And then I had that person that was like, "Oh, you're only doing this much activity." And I was like, "I've never done your level of activity in my life." Yeah. And
Right.
she goes, "Oh, then how did you even get to where you are?" Very judgy, very, very judgy. Questioned my magic
Yep.
because she
Yep.
probably is a left arrow
Yep.
and I'm a right arrow on this bottom right arrow thing.
Hmm.
And because she was where I wanted to be, she did make me feel like I was inadequate and that she honestly made me feel like I was an irresponsible business owner. Like that's what I felt in
Yes.
that moment. Like, oh, you're an irresponsible business owner and how you got where you are isn't real. I mean, I also had somebody else tell me that you can't just like surge your way through excitement to your next level. You need to learn to
Yes.
be more consistent. And you're like, actually, that's not true. I am a surger. Like I chase the feels, right? And
Yes.
I'm responsible about the way I chase my feels. Like I responsibly, consistently chase feels, but like
Yep.
it's very depressing to me to, you know, my like one of my life goals is that my baby brother's wife takes all of our money and just pays all of our bills and gives me an allowance. It's one of
So
my I'm not even kidding.
hours of
I've talked
yeah.
to her about it because I just don't want to even look at it.
Yep.
And it sounds so weird to be like, "Oh, it makes me sad and depressed." And
Yeah.
it's because I just don't I'm like, "Oh, but it's leaving." And I'm like, "Let's make more." I don't like
Yep.
watching it coming and going. And I've done all the money things and all the money books, but I'm just like, "Why do I have to look at it at all?" Like I don't want
Yeah.
to look at it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly how you
And is
feel.
that arrow?
Yes.
It's not me checking out. It's not me being irresponsible.
Every time I would make a thermometer to like track
Ugh.
production, well, I know everybody with the right facing arrow wants to throw up, and everybody with the left facing arrow is like, oh, how fun. Like, I never got that, Chelsea.
There is nothing more depressing to me than incrementally trying to fill in a thermometer.
Yeah.
Now, do I have, like, did I sit down yesterday like a responsible human in America and go, this is all the income, da da da, da, these are the different segments. And like, yes, I write it down and then I release it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it works, but like I gotta write it down and then I gotta release it and
Yeah. And I have a
right.
similar, I'm hope motivation. So
Mm-hmm.
every time I try and fix something or fixate on something, it
Mm,
all falls apart. It all blows up in my face. But if I just trust, it's a lot about trusting with that right facing arrow. I just have
yeah,
to trust that everything is going to work out.
yeah,
And yeah, I remember the day that I'm like, oh, I have this much production come in every day. And it's not that I was tracking it, it was this
yeah.
trust that this comes in every single day. And it
Mm.
changed everything because it started coming in like
Because
that.
it just literally did.
Mhm.
What what do you what was a mental habit then that helped you, or did you just draw a line in the sand and go, I'm not overanalyzing this one more day of my life. From now on, this is what I'm expecting, this is what I'm believing, and it may not happen today or tomorrow, but it's going to start happening really soon.
Yeah,
Happening
the
really soon.
habit of when you have hope or innocence, it's the habit of letting it go,
Yeah.
trusting that everything works out. Yeah,
Yeah. God loves me and everything goes my way, even if I
exactly.
don't quite see it yet.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Which doesn't sound like a great business plan,
I
but
know.
it works for
I know.
us.
It does work for us. It
I
does work for
think
us.
that's why I'm so passionate about these variables because
Yeah.
what works for one person doesn't work for another person. And so we're trying to put ourselves in these business boxes that for
Hmm.
years have been taught, this is the way you do business, this is the way you do business, but
Yeah.
doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
And then I think I'm just either I think there's two sides of it, right? Like where, that person made me feel very inferior, like I was a crappy business person and I was never going to get to where she was because I wasn't tracking like a psychopath and I wasn't doing enough activity.
yeah.
Where the flip side of it is, I think I can drive, me as a right arrow can drive the left bottom right arrow facing people a little insane because they need the numbers. They need the numbers, they need the plan, right? And so, for me as a
Oh,
coach, as a clarity coach, I love going like, have you looked at your human design? We got to look at this arrow because we need to know, are we just like gonna throw a picture of the life you want on the wall, or do we got to get nitty gritty serious? Because I'm really great at it. I can get down and dirty with you on some strategy, but
I cannot. That's where I would send them to somebody else. Seriously. Because I'm like, I can't even stop, slow down, because
yeah.
most of my arrows face right. So
This is where all my other face
I
less. Like
know.
I'm so
That's
great at the
why
strategy. I
yeah,
just like I'm
yeah.
so I'm ridiculously great at strategy. I just should really never put it on myself,
Right.
right?
Right.
Correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, so being fluid in that. So, oh my gosh, you guys, I love this stuff. This stuff I'm super obsessed with the primary health system part of human design. I'm obsessed with all of it. You can see we've been pulling in different pieces as we've been talking about this today. So, is there any other piece of advice that you have for people around this, like another nugget you want to share, or um, just why you think anyone should at least entertain it for a moment? And then where can people learn more about all of this goodness from you?
Yeah. I mean, all that we learn in human design is so helpful in creating alignment, creating flow.
Hmm.
One of the things that I've always been excited about is creating more flow in my life so I don't feel stuck. And that's not a fun place to be, but human
Hmm.
design and the variables especially can create a lot more flow in your life.
Yeah.
So where they can find it,
Yeah.
my hub. This was a creative urge as a manifester, you guys. So I get really excited about it because it just literally downloaded out of nowhere. And I'm like, I want to create a hub with all the resources, all the information, all
Mhm.
the things that you would need. And because of so many years being in business, I have tools that work for, a projector or a manifester or a generator out there too. But I'm right now building out the PHS part. I have the upper left arrow in there right now, and I
Mhm.
even have like meal plans. There are 12 different types, 12 different ways that we take in information and food. And it's not all
Mhm.
about the food. It's all about, for some people, they need to be in an environment where it's noisy and crazy and they digest better. Me, no. I need to
No.
be, mine's closed. I need to be in my own. To eat
Mhm.
by myself is the best way for me to digest. And
Mhm.
when I learned that about
Oh.
myself, your husband too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is why he doesn't eat half the time. He doesn't eat at school, and I keep getting so mad at him. I'm like, you cannot. Okay, yes, you don't need to eat as nonstop like me, but like, bro, you cannot plow through a 10-hour day
Yeah, you
and
can.
do soccer academy and not eat. But it's because there's nothing slowing down around him.
Yep. Yeah, it's really hard for us to eat if there's a lot of activity going around. It's almost
Oh
like
my
food gets
gosh.
stuck for me.
Stacey, the amount of times that I go to school and I open up his fridge and I'm like, there are 4 meals in here that I have packed you this week, sir, that now I'm throwing away. Are you
Yeah.
freaking kidding me right now? But it's because there's never, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't just slow down and eat? Like, open it up and like eat as you're doing something, bro.
We can't do that. We literally can't. I can't even scroll while I eat. I can't do anything but focus on the food that I am eating intentionally.
And that's with closed.
That's closed.
Like, he's gonna have to go start sitting in the press box or something to have a secret lunch with himself.
Yeah. And there's some people who are meant to eat at night when the sun goes down only. And there are some
Mhm.
people that cannot eat after the sun goes down. I mean, there's so
Yeah,
many different
there's so
variables.
many different. Mine's consecutive, which just means it has to be simple, right?
Yep. Super simple. I thought
Super,
you were
super simple.
alternating. You're consecutive.
Consecutive.
My daughter's alternating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Same
consecutive.
line, but left and right
Yep.
facing arrow.
Yeah, so mine's just like very simple, simple, simple foods,
Simple, simple.
which just
Hmm.
makes sense. I walk in the pantry, I'm like, I want to have some walnuts. Oh, I want something else. Okay, like I'm gonna have
Hmm.
some like
You're not
dried
going to
grapes.
mix your food.
No, I mean, not that I don't. I will say, like, I do love a good salad, but I don't think that my body digests a salad as easily as it digests, like, eat some steak, then eat some asparagus. All right, well, thank you so much for taking all the time in the world to tell us about this today. And again, guys, if you want to learn more, go get your free chart at myhumandesignhub.com. Go Her human design hub is like the cheapest way that you can dive in and start learning about human design. Get a lot of handouts, get a lot of guides, literally 22 bucks. I mean, seriously, it's like less than it's like for the cost of a trip for you and your spouse to go to In and Out. You can have the human design hub all month long, okay? So grab your free chart, grab that. Hope you loved this. Thank you again, Stacy, for doing this for us today. We appreciate it. Thank you again, All Things Excellence fam. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.